I didn't watch anime until we started doing this pod, and I feel like as a person that when you first get introduced to anime, you either go one of two ways. You either kind of get really into it and actually care about the animes and the stories and shit like that, or you become a degenerate. And I picked the degenerate side.
I got ice in my veins. Walk like a champion, champion, champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I fear nobody. Ain't no letting down, I won't let you down. 'Cause I got ice in my veins. I talk like a champion, like a champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I'm so cold-blooded. I fear nobody, I fear nobody. I walk like a champion.
Man, oh man. But you know what? Speaking of, you brought up Dame. You talk about how Dame went absolutely nuclear against the Denver Nuggets in Game 5. I mean, geez, you talk about somebody that, like you always say, like, oh, people that aren't afraid to run from the grind. Dame Lillard, please run from the grind. Please run from the grind. Like, come on, bro. Like, I get it.
Save yourself.
Save yourself. I can't save you. Like you see that, you know, the video on Twitter where it's like the dude that sees the cat in the store.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come back for you. I'm gonna come back for you.
That's what it is. That's what it feels like. Like Dame, like I'm watching that game because obviously the Lakers Suns game was a blowout by the end of the first quarter, right? So it's like, all right, go to the Nuggets game. Watching the fourth quarter Nuggets game, I'm like, damn, Dame out here hooping. Then you get to the last 4 minutes, I'm like, damn, Dame is really hooping, and not once but twice. The game tying 3-4, overtime and double overtime, just to lose because Robert Covington thinks he's prime Vince Carter.
Oh my god!
And then what do you call it? Stefan Urkel doesn't know where he is on the basketball court, bro. I'd be flipping chairs if I went to the locker room after that loss.
And the thing is, he's not that type of person. But also, because he'll straight up be like, "Damn, I should have just not given the ball up." You know what I mean? But that's not the position you want him to be in. Mm-hmm. I think. Honestly, I think CJ's thing really hurt, but I think it was more the things that happened before that. Like Melo gave up an open 3.
Yes.
Drove, right? I'm fine with him driving, but he drove and kicked for a contested 3. I would rather him just drive, try and draw a foul. You know what I mean? And then it was the Robert Covington, which again, he didn't even get off the ground on that dunk attempt.
Bro, I'm like, Robert.
And that's a situation where he could have kicked it to an open shooter. And I think it was Melo.
Because they were down 3 at the time. It would have cut it. If he makes the dunk, it would have cut it to 1 with like 9 seconds or whatever left.
Yeah.
So it was like late. It was like late.
I think it was 38 seconds, I want to say.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. But
but that, and then for them to get it back, the CJ thing, that hurt because I love CJ. But like at the end, like, I mean, but also them boys was fucking tired, bro. To the point where Dame, when he finally missed the 3, he was like, all right, let me like try and settle a bit, and then couldn't get the ball back to him. And honestly, shout out to Aaron Gordon, because he made like Aaron Gordon tipping that pass is the reason why CJ stepped on the line.
Yep.
Because CJ had to catch it further back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rough, but like you've been saying it, like, you know, I don't think Dame's ever gonna leave Portland, unfortunately. Maybe it'll be like a Derrick Rose type thing where they're like, we really can't help you, so let's set you free.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, you know, we spoke about it before, they're gonna try and make more moves that he wants, like let him, you know, be GM a little bit, which is what you're supposed to do when your star is that big of a star. Like Dame is the fucking truth. Like Dame is the only player to ever have 50 points, 10 assists, 10 3-pointers. And that's not in a playoff game. The only player ever to do that. Like he's so great, and I feel like he doesn't get. And we talk about it, like I've said it on this podcast before. There is no shot that Stephen Curry can make that Dame can. The difference is Steph had better teams. Steph, obviously, MVP. Steph's one of the greatest players of all time. No debate. But with them coming up at the same time, Dame is not getting the same credit or the same coverage as Steph gets. And there's multiple reasons to go into that. But Dame's greatness is really not as appreciated as it should be. And I'm really hoping that now it will be. And they're most like, I mean, I have them losing the series. They can win this series. Like, don't get me wrong. They definitely can. Denver is beatable. Without Jamal Murray playing as he did last year, Denver is beatable. but it's a really uphill battle for him. And but that's the NBA, right?
No, it is. It's tough. I mean, when I was watching the game, I'm thinking, all right, one, that game was the perfect example as to why you foul when you're up 3 late in a game, because he didn't do it just once; he did it twice at the end of the game, hitting a 3. Right?
Yeah.
Also, I always find it. You always find it. Do you ever find it interesting that you never really hear about players that want to go up? I mean, I know it's Portland and like there's not really do up in Portland, but you never really hear about guys wanting to go play with Dame, or like Dame having a wish list of players that.
That's the thing.
wants.
This year he has a wish list. Aaron Gordon was one of the players he wanted. They couldn't get Aaron Gordon until they got Robert Covington.
And you know what sucks is that Robert Covington.
He's not
Robert
bad.
Covington is a good player. He's a good role. I would say he's a great role player.
Yeah.
But there's just times he comes up small.
Like
I would say
at the end of the game, and it wasn't just on the dunk; it was defensively too.
It is hard though. I will give him some slack. It's hard when you have to go up and defend against the MVP in Jokic, who you have to worry about him doing his.
I'm not talking about that, because in the end of the second overtime, Kanter was guarding him for a bit, and that was the best defense I've ever seen Kanter play in his entire life. Like literally, like he started off the second overtime with a block in a one-on-one scenario. I was talking about the skip pass.
Oh, I know what you're talking
trying
about.
To get to where the ball is going to defend a 3-point shot, Robert Covington just tried to jump.
Yeah,
and just fell and left it wide open.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
You talk about putting the ball right in the breadbasket though from Jokic across the court, perfectly right there in the shooter's pocket.
But it wasn't a super fast pass, and Covington would have had enough time to go contest that shot.
I honestly thought he was going to deflect it. Like it was just going to go. I didn't think he was going to intercept it. I thought he was just going to deflect it and go out of bounds. And I'm like, wait, he's already at the apex of his jump. And
that's not a risk you take in a double overtime though. When you're tired of shit, like come on.
Because you can always just, even if the pass gets there, if you close out, he's not going to shoot.
Yeah.
And even if he is shooting, that's a contested 3.
Mm-hmm. And you live with, if he makes that, you live with it.
Exactly. But yeah, Dame, please run from the grind. It's okay. It's okay. Like we're at this point in the NBA
honestly
where
wants to be like Dirk, and I want better for him.
Look, and it's
he deserves better.
He deserves better. But if he feels that he's just gonna stick around in Portland, so be it. I'm not gonna fight.
Yeah,
I won't fight him on no, Dame, you should leave. If he feels that he wants to be one of those guys that just stays his whole career someplace, hey, let him. You know, there's honor in that.
Yeah, of course. And it's also just of how much the organization is going to help him and listen to him. And, they made a bigger commitment to it at the beginning of the season. That's what they said. They're going to try and get the people he wants. He has that wish list now. So I feel like now is where he's like, all right, like now it's really, I'm not trying to really lose my prom without having won something. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're even making a finals. So I feel like now he's also like, all right, I know him wanting to take that role, because Dame was always, I came out the mud, whatever you give me, I'll make the most of it. So now he's like, I'm a fucking superstar. I need to be able to compete like I'm a superstar. So hopefully, I feel like Denver will win. I hope this goes to 7 though, because the series has been great.
It's been, and you know what's funny? I remember I brought it up on the pod like 2 weeks ago. I was like, this is the one I was going to be I was least entertained by.
Yeah.
For some reason, even though it had the MVP and Dame, it just felt like a kind of boring series. But not to say every game, because there's been 3 blowouts in this series so far. Yeah. But the games that have been close, they've been really good.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, speaking of blowouts, Lakers got blown out by the Suns again. All I can really say about this series is exactly what we said before. If Anthony Davis plays, the Lakers should beat them.
Yep.
It always hinged upon Anthony Davis's play. If he plays, the Lakers should beat them. Everything will be cool. Anthony Davis gets hurt game 3. Was it game 3 or game 4? Game 4.
Game 4.
Anthony Davis hurt game 4. They lose. Also, Charles Barkley also thinks LeBron James is playing hurt. He thinks he's like, yo, he's not playing 100%. He's being kind of passive. He's doing whatever. I've seen shout out to Jamil Warney. I've seen him tweet about like he feels like LeBron's not looking for a shot as much. And the wild thing is, even with all that, we cannot count the Lakers out because of LeBron James.
Bro, it was the third quarter last night, and I got on Xbox, and I'm talking to some people, and I'm like, you know what? Because LeBron, this game, I think it was like 7 minutes left in the third. I'm like, you know what? Because LeBron, I've seen LeBron do some crazy stuff. I would not put it past him that they went on like a 15-0 run, cut the lead to like 12 at the end of the fourth, and somehow he willed them to a win.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've seen him do some crazy stuff, but at the same time, I would have to kind of agree with what they're saying in terms of like it does not look like the same LeBron we saw a few months ago before the ankle injury.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like part of the reason, I feel like he might have rushed to come back. I'm glad he sat a little bit more towards the end of the season. But like the Lakers were not doing well. They needed him to come back or they weren't going to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? It was a situation like that. So he wasn't able to get as much rest as he would have liked. And ankle injuries are fucking tough. Like, it's no joke, especially when you're someone who's that explosive. Obviously, LeBron's game is not predicated by just athleticism anymore. But I don't know. But at the same time, elimination game LeBron. And also, Chris Paul's playing. If Chris Paul didn't play, it was given that the Suns are going to lose. If you just looked at this should be, you'd be like, all right, the Suns are the 2 seed. They're up. They should close it out. Second best players hurt. But we've seen LeBron do more with less. And obviously he was younger before. But the Lakers are a good defensive team. You know what I mean? Like, they proved that in the regular season. They have they have a pretty high defensive rating. You know what I mean? But where wrestling, because did KCP play last game?
He did.
Okay, so he's still probably limited, and he's been a great contributor for them. Your boy, Contavious Convict Pope.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know, man. I definitely don't want to bet on that shit, because, bruh, like, it's hard to. You can't bet against LeBron, but
you cannot. I've learned that the hard way like 3 times this year. You cannot bet against LeBron.
I also take responsibility for the Mavs' past 2 losses, because I didn't bet the first 2 games, bet the second 2, and we got fucking clamped.
If it makes you feel better, the one game I bet net spread in the series was game 3, and they lost. If I would have bet literally if I bet every other game, I'd have so much money right now.
Bro, that game 3, the only thing that messed up my parlays was Tim Hardaway Jr. only having 12 points. He hit 4 threes and went 0 of 8 from inside the arc. But yeah,
amen.
I mean, shit. Going into my series, being up 2-0 and we're taking both games away gives us all this momentum, all these things, and the Clippers just brought us back to reality. And that most of the time, we weren't supposed to win in this series. I still think we can win the series. I still think we should win the series, but we're not supposed to win. And it also just showed the holes in our team these past 2 games. One, Porzingis is playing like shit and playing like he doesn't want to be there. But outside of that, I really think he's playing like Derrick Rose did, in that when I watch him, it's like he's afraid to be aggressive. The only time he gets aggressive is when he's pissed off. It's literally like he's playing like he's worried about driving hard to the basket. He's worried about setting hard screens. Like, he's playing like he's going to get hurt if he does anything aggressively. And that takes time, and I understand that. But he's a rhythm player. He's getting switches. He has these smaller players, and he's not doing what he needs to do. So that sucks. It's very frustrating. The Mavs Twitter is ablaze. They want him gone. Shout out to Don from Hoops and Hefeweizens with Ruben. He said it's playing like I'm pretty sure it was Don. Either way, it was one of them was like he's basically playing like he's getting ready for his next stop, and that's a little wild because of the contract we just signed him to.
Yep.
so it's incredibly hard to move. But we might have a Latvian available for you white people in Boston, or Pat Riley. But it really comes down to, we're not winning this if the only person producing is Luka. This is not the regular season. The Clippers have a good team. Because even in those losses, Paul George, outside of game 1, Paul George and Kawhi have been doing what they need to do. Kawhi's been doing exactly what he needs to do and has looked full on like robot Kawhi. It's rough. My thing is, our team does not go if Tim is cold. If Tim gets cold, and he's a high energy guy as well, if Tim gets cold, it's rough. And with Tim being cold is him not being able to score outside of the 3. Because he's not going to hit. He's hit a lot of threes, a couple games. But like, the thing that balances it is that this season in particular, he spent more time driving and hitting those contested layups and finishing at the rim. But if he's not doing that, and no one else is doing it either, because the reason we lost game 3 was not our 3-point shooting. It was everything else. Because we were, going into that game, we were shooting 60% from the field for the series. We shot great from 3 points that game. We still lost because we weren't hitting anything else. And then game 4, then we just couldn't hit anything, period. So we do well in rest. I'm hoping things work out. I'm hoping we tighten it up. We get things together. Push this to 7 if need be. If need be, hope, I don't know, man. It's looking real sketch. And then also we have shit like Luka's hurt, right? He has a nerve. Yeah. That's real. That's real shit. Like, the moment he said it's going down my arm, I was like, yes, you have. If you guys don't know, you have a big nerve cluster up here and up here. That's when you hear about stingers in football. That's what it is. Someone hit that nerve cluster and it's traveling down his arm. The dumb shit, which I heard, shout out to Ruben again, is that Rick Carlisle said after the game, Luka's definitely labored. To me, it looks like he couldn't turn left.
Why would you say this? Why would you say this as a coach?
Bro, what?
Oh, man.
For what reason?
So thanks. You just told him. Now you just gave the Clippers away. Now you're gonna force him left.
Yeah. So right. Luka needs to go full blue steel if you want to fucking get this win. Apparently he's doing well. He's doing better. Hopefully that's it. But credit to the Clippers. No credit to Ty Lue, because I don't think he did anything.
Zero. No,
I really don't think he did anything. I just think Marcus Morris got out of his funk, started hitting. Him being so cold is a big reason why we were able to get those leads in the first 2 games. But game 3 was rough because we came out super hot. But credit to the Clippers, man. Reggie Jackson's playing his ass off.
Yep. I say even Man has on the Clippers has given him some good minutes, some good run. I know he's had some scuffles and stuff.
I like Terrence Mann until he did that bullshit where he acted like he got fucking sniped.
Bro, what was that?
He got mushed in the face. That's it. He pushed Willie, and Willie was like, man, get the fuck out of my face. Mushed him in the face, and this man acted like he got shot.
Yep.
And then go get up and fake tough guy.
And then after they
literally looked like a WWE wrestler running to make sure a teammate's in the way. And when he gets there, just go when WWE wrestlers do that shit because they don't have a microphone, so they gotta just be really animated. And I was like, bro, I was fucking with you until you're gonna do that shit. And it's fake because immediately after it was all laugh and smiles and shit.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Wait, what are you how can you be laughing? You just wanted to kill him. And now you're laughing? What the hell was going on?
I was cool with him before that shit. I always high energy. You're gonna bust your ass on defense and make something cool, but then you're gonna do that dumb shit. I don't know, man. It's really just gonna be again. I mean, that's what it is all season, and that's why we didn't have much faith going into this series, just because it's what our role players. What are we gonna get? Maxey was playing well, but also Maxey still has never been 100%. Isn't 100%. Wasn't 100% coming to the series. But Kawhi is making him look like a child. He's a real power forward. He's a real power forward in this league. And Kawhi is literally tossing him aside like I'm trying to guard him. Yeah.
It's not, I mean, in his defense, it is Kawhi. Kawhi does that to a lot of people.
There's nothing you can do about that. But you can see that now he's getting frustrated. because last game was ugly.
Well, you got at least 2 more. So
yeah, and we still have the best player in the series. So
this is true. It's true. But the problem is they have the next best 2.
Yeah.
So, and then the gap between their 2 and the next best player in the series is kind of far, because it should be, I feel like it should be Luka, Kawhi, Paul George, Kristaps, like in that order.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
it's Luka, Kawhi, Paul George, and then way at the bottom is Kristaps.
Before Kristaps, you got Reggie Jackson.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all going to depend on, literally, our series is going to hinge on Kristaps and Tim Hardaway.
I expect a big, whether it's game 5, game 6, I'm rooting for a big Kristaps performance.
Too. I need at least 25 and 10. 30, give me 30 and 8.
I feel like we'd just be comfortable with 24 and 11.
Like, because I will say that in game 4, he did start to get things going, efficient shooting night, but it also felt like garbage time.
Yeah.
So it's really gonna, what the fuck, what are we gonna get? And especially with basketball. If you guys don't know, right now we're recording on Wednesday. So we're recording before these games happen today. You might hear me on I'm gonna see if I can get on Ruben's podcast. So maybe you'll hear me tonight somewhere else. Well, tonight is on Wednesday. But yeah. I don't know, man. As a basketball fan though, I mean, we're the only 2-2 series right now, obviously, because we haven't played that other game. But I'm excited. And we talked about Utah before. The series is going how we expected it to.
Yes. Yeah. Didn't expect a sweep, but you knew the Memphis. I didn't expect Memphis to take. Yeah. I didn't expect Memphis to take a game in Utah. I thought they'd take one in Memphis, but they played tough. I gotta give Memphis credit, especially because it's a group of a lot of young guys. I mean, there's almost no. There's like no veterans on that team.
I don't think there's anyone over 30 on that team.
Like, you got Jaren Jackson, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain. Like, it's just a bunch of young. 26. Yeah, he's only 27. Yeah, it's just a bunch of young guys that are just hungry, and you see it. They're not afraid of Utah. When they get punched in the mouth, they punch right back. The difference just is
they've never folded.
Experience.
Yeah,
that's literally what it comes down to.
They've been like playing that, like they never feel like they're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So credits to them. Again, series is going how we expected them to. Once Donovan came back, I feel like Utah sat him that first game because they were like, we can beat them without, and they underestimated them.
Yes,
and they
underestimated. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. But hey, look, I think as much as Ja has played really well, and this is like, I guess, him like breaking onto the stage or whatever, like the playing game and stuff like that. I think Dylan Brooks is the real story of the Grizzlies, at least during the play-in and the playoff run, because you knew Ja was a superstar already.
Yeah.
But Dylan Brooks becoming who he is after the last 3 years, right? Coming out of Oregon. I mean, him actually becoming a scorer is not something I did not expect that.
Everyone expected him to just get 3-and-D coming out of college. That was it. They were like, if he can get time, 3-and-D, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he's proven to be like, listen, I'm gonna go. We need a bucket. Ja's tired, or Ja's on the bench right now. I'm gonna go get that bucket.
I'm about to say the irony is that he's not even shooting the threes anymore.
Exactly. It's all fucking mid-range.
It's all mid-range, all at the basket, and he's playing really good defense. He's still getting in foul trouble. I don't think he's going a game this series without getting at least 4.
Yeah.
So he's still got to cut down on the fouls, but outside of that, man, they got Jaren Jackson. You can still see he's not 100% back.
Like 12 games this year.
Exactly. And who would have thought Grayson Allen would be their ringer in terms of 3-point shooting? Don't want to give him too many props, but
just the white guy named if he's not shooting the 3, what is he doing on the court?
This is true.
Yeah, Grayson Allen can go to Boston. That's where he can go. I feel right.
Tony, we gotta bring back Gordon Hayward to Boston. We'll send over Grayson Allen. We'll bring in I don't want to do it to my boy TJ McConnell at the point, and then we'll just. I mean,
for TJ.
I know. I shouldn't do that to my boy TJ. But
yeah, they'll sign Myers Leonard, and they'll be good.
Come on, man. I would love, honestly, at this point, I would love to see. We're never gonna see it, but I would love to see an all-white starting lineup. Like, what's the best
You almost
all-white?
had one.
What is the best all-white starting lineup you could create in the NBA right now
With current players?
with current players? Yes.
All right. All I already know is Luka and Sabonis. Jokic.
Okay.
All right. So we got Jokic at the 5, Sabonis at the 4.
Yep.
Luka, we got to figure out who else is going to go around him before we can do that. I mean, I guess Porzingis is still up there, right?
See, I would.
He averaged what? In limited time, he averaged 20 and 8 this year. So that's doable. That's solid.
But you're basically putting it down between Sabonis and Porzingis. I'm going Sabonis.
So then at the 3, you could put Bogdan in from Atlanta.
Yep.
Who would be the last one?
Why don't you just go for broke and put both Bogdanoviches in?
No. Oh god. I mean,
it works out because Bogdan can play the 2.
Yeah, that would. I wanted to have I don't know. Give me a Dragic. Even though he's old, give me a Dragic. Passing between Jokic, Dragic, and Luka, bro.
Bro, here's what I'd go.
Best shot available is every shot.
I'm telling you, right? So I go Luka at the 1, right? Obviously Sabonis and Jokic, right? Yeah. I'll go Bogdanovich at the 3.
Which one?
I'll go Bogdanovich at the 2.
Okay.
Joe Harris at the 3.
Joe. Okay, yeah, there you go. I like that.
We make the playoffs with that starting.
Oh, absolutely.
We make the playoffs with that.
Bro, you might be a top 4 seed with that starting lineup.
Look, you got 2 MVP caliber players, 2 an all-star caliber guy in Sabonis, and you got 2 amazing role players in Sabonis and Bogdanovich and Joe.
3 team in either conference. That's a top 3 team in either conference.
I'm telling you, man. Look, you could honestly field a playoff contender with just white guys in the because then you would go it right because then off the bench I'll get TJ McConnell, I'll get the other Bogdanovich, I'll get Porzingis, I'll have Duncan Robinson, and so that's 9. That's 4 off the bench already.
There's got to be another backup big white guy. Get Daniel Theis.
Nah, you know what? Throw Zubac in there.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Maxey, whatever you want. Maxey or
Zubac.
And then let's see who else do I want.
And then Tyler Harrow just for fun.
Exactly. Just for fun.
Yeah.
Tell you that. Look, that is a
first team all-Aryan.
Well, do you remember the picture that they took in the bubble?
Yeah,
it was all the overseas,
all the European guys.
All the European guys. But like, yo, that table could make the playoffs easily.
Make the play, bro. That is a top 5 team.
Because it was what was it? It was Jokic, Nurkic, Porzingis, Luka,
Zubac, Nurkic,
Goran Dragic, and 3 other people. It's like, yo, that's a
European Union, bro.
Let's go. Brexit. I'm not even using it correctly at all.
Bro, who was the last British player in the league? Fucking Ben Gordon?
Bro, that's a good question.
I remember when I found out he was British, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, dang. Yeah, they really don't be doing basketball over there in England. They don't be hooping because they be doing the soccer. That's why. They be doing the soccer and the cricket.
Hooping and stabbing people up.
Basically, no hoop. All they do over there in the UK, all they know how to do is 3 things: soccer, tea, colonization. STC.
Okay. STC. All right, I feel like that's it.
That's about it. I think that's it.
Yeah. All right, and I don't really think I need to edit either. So this is great. Yeah, that's it for us this week, guys. No anime book club this week. We're gonna wait until we're at full strength. And again, this episode's gonna come out on Thursday. But starting next week, most likely episodes will start coming out on Friday. We're kind of shifting everything down a day, just to make life work a little bit easier. But we're still there. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at Sartobi Sports. Shout out to everyone. I don't know if y'all gonna get this far if y'all listen to the podcast. All the new people who've checked out. If you're not following us, go follow us. We got a TikTok that's blowing up over there, which is great. Shout out to JT for having his Amber take.
Toxicity at its finest.
Yeah, and that's and you guys can follow me on Twitter at Offended Normal. That's pretty much it.
All right, look at that. Made it through the pod. All right. You already know. Follow me on Twitter, J_Thomas_24. Yeah, man. It's just living life, living La Vida Loca, getting ready for playoffs. The second round. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go, Mavs. We'll catch y'all next week.
I got ice in my veins. Walk like a champion, champion, champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I fear nobody. Ain't no letting down, I won't let you down. 'Cause I got ice in my veins. I talk like a champion, like a champion.